Thank you, Matthew, and good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to present some of the advances that we have made in developing and improving accelerated bridge construction techniques. We have a long history of using component construction, precast decks, and slide-in bridges, but have also picked up a lot of new techniques from these webinars. Our hope is going forward that you'll learn something from this and improve your ABC techniques for your bridge projects. The presentation today is outlined on the slide that you see right now. I'll give an initial overview of New York State DOT's ABC program and what we've been doing up till now. And then I'll turn it over to Matthew and John Neidhart, and they'll present ABC components and component construction that we've done over the years, and then focus on a case study for the I-84 over Delaware River and Never Sink rivers down near New York City. And then Matthew will speak briefly about what's next for ABC in New York. In 2012, our governor challenged us to do more in reducing the impacts on drivers by introducing the Drivers First initiative, an approach by the State Department of Transportation to prioritize the convenience of motorists and ensure that disruptions are as minimal as possible to drivers at highways and bridge projects across the state. The challenge going forward is to minimize traffic impacts but still deliver a quality, durable product, a bridge that will last a long time. How does ABC help us accomplish this? It limits the time detours are in place. By keeping lane closures to a minimum, traffic will back up less. Work zones will be safer for the traveling public and for workers. And finally, reducing vehicle operation costs, which in turn improves air quality, which is important everywhere, but particularly in highly congested urban areas. One option that we forget to discuss at times is the accelerated construction is contracting options. Here are some of the options that New York State has used over the years. And the slide at the right, the photo at the right, is the best value project where the contractor bid on both the schedule and the bid price for the construction work. And a combination of these two was used to select the contractor. Here's an older slide-in, slide-out project that was completed in 2005 and Hillside Ave over the Van Wyck Expressway in Flushing, New York, near New York Mets Stadium. This project slid out the old bridge and slid in the new one over the course of a weekend to eliminate or minimize traffic disruption. After the old structure was slid out on temporary bents, it was removed with temporary closures, short-term closures, which allowed for traffic to flow a lot more smoothly. An older system that we had used quite a bit is an inverset component, which is a precast deck on girders, a component system that was cast upside down. One of the troubles with this system was the joints between adjacent deck panels leaked because they were simply shear keys that were grouted. This was one of the key disadvantages of this type of system. Trying to correct that, here's a project, Cross-Western Expressway, that was completed in 1999. It was an early attempt to use precast deck panels with post-tensioning. While somewhat successful, the joints still do tend to leak, and even though it's been over 15 years in service, the deck continues to leak and have serviceability issues. Which brings us closer to where we're at today. This was the first use of UHPC joints on deck bulb tees, and the details are very similar to what we incorporated into deck panels too, which Matthew will talk about a lot more. This is a Route 31 over Canandaigua outlock. in the Finger Lake regions of New York State. This is the first time we started using the details for the UHPC joints on a bridge structure. Here's an example of a component construction that doesn't use UHPC. These are conventional joints, but the barrier is cast with the deck to speed up construction. To protect these joints, which we were concerned may leak, this bridge actually has a membrane and asphalt overlay. Dingle Ridge Road was a project that was developed as part of the contract with HNTB to develop a toolkit for ABC. This was a slide-in project on a very heavily traveled road. The unique feature of this is the approach slab were cast with the deck, and the entire approach slab and superstructure was slid in place over the weekend. The slide was done on a weekend closed lot, and I mean a real lot of public outreach that avoided traffic congestion and made it a successful project. We've also precast approach slabs and incorporated them as part of the ABC projects. Initially, contractors had a bit of trouble, connecting the rigid structure to the soil, which was flexible. But as they've done more and more, they've become better at it, and the speed of things has increased. New York State has done a few substructure replacements using ABC, and here's an example of one where we successfully installed a pier and a median with minimal disruptions to traffic. Let's not forget the need to include rapid demolition as part of ABC. Besides being my grandson's favorite video on bridge construction, it's a key component that needs to be addressed for ABC. This could make deck replacements take longer than component construction and may sway the options when you're setting up the project. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Matthew, and he'll present some of the component systems in a little bit more detail of what we're using now, and then go on to the case study for the I-84 over the Delaware and Never Sink Rivers project.